Welcome to Queens with Accents, with zero religion, zero politics, and lots of laughs.
And we're your hosts. I'm Natasha.
And Nadia.
And we're best friends. We are moms. We are...
Everything else with accents as well. We embrace that, yes, clearly.
Yes, exactly. And we are serving real talk with what?
A side of sarcasm.
A side of sarcasm. So let's go. So we're trying to just entertain you people. Entertain you.
Yes.
We're not trying to be serious. As we are sometimes. So we're eating today.
Yes, what are we eating today?
So I don't know what you're eating. What is that? Tell me, what is this?
This is kimchi pancakes. It's
pancakes.
Yes, I didn't make it. Unfortunately, I'm not that I'm not a Susie homemaker. But kimchi pancakes consist of kimchi, a little bit of other vegetables, and some flour. And basically, we try to forget that it might have something bad for you, and we pretend it's healthy food.
I made my sushi last time.
You did.
I made real Japanese food.
You did.
Okay.
Yes, I'm not like that. Sorry. I'll be better next time.
Borscht.
Oh.
Ukrainian borscht.
Okay, fine.
Oh. Okay, yes. I didn't expect it would be that easy. Okay, I'm not saying that my food was fancy food. Okay, there's 2 pieces of sour bread. Okay, slices of sour bread.
Did you make the sour bread?
Yes, of course.
From scratch?
Yes, of course.
Okay, sure.
There was scratch there. Okay? And there's butter. And there's fish. Smoked fish. And I love smoked fish. I like smoked fish so much.
Okay.
I know it's not good for you, but I love smoked fish. We have forks. Because
you're pescatarian, right? You're pescatarian?
I eat fish. I love fish. I don't put labels on myself. Schmiskitarian, pescatarian, vegetarian. That's not it, but I love fish.
Okay.
If it's pescatarian, of course. And then we have absolutely delightful chips from Trader Joe's, which travel well.
And sour cream. Because what? Because Eastern European people in general cannot eat nothing without sour cream, which I don't know why. I don't know what the fixation is, but I'll give into it.
It's staple. It's a staple with a plastic fork. It's a tradition. But like
a beautiful touch.
Yeah, beautiful touch, and we put sour cream on literally like everything.
Everything. Yes, which I don't think is really good for your cholesterol, but okay.
I don't know. I'll take it. It tastes good. Everything tastes better with ice cream, right? Or ice cream, sour cream.
Sour cream. That's true, though. Okay, I can't argue with that. So today, cheers. Let's talk about. While we're eating, let's talk about funny habits, language mistakes, and cultural shocks being an immigrant.
Where do we start?
You know what? There's a lot of things. Like in general, when I came here to the US, I thought my English was great. Because the first time that I came here, I was an exchange student. I was 15, and I literally won the state and the whole countrywide a contest for English in my country. And I thought, I was so proud. I thought that I know English so well, and then I came here and I couldn't understand nothing. Literally for 2 weeks I sat at home watching SpongeBob, because that's the only thing that I could understand, more or less. I couldn't understand anything. And so yes, that was a culture shock for me, and it was a big disappointment.
Yeah, talking about language, I did not have like I didn't speak English when I came here. I said like, my name is Natasha. I'm good. I good. If I say it's already progress,
But wait a second, but weren't you married to an American guy?
Yeah, he spoke Russian when we met.
He spoke Russian.
Yeah, when we met in Moscow.
All right.
He spoke Russian. His Russian wasn't the best Russian, but we could communicate on like basic level.
Okay.
And
okay.
Yeah, and I thought he was obviously the best person in the world. He spoke English, and I didn't know what he's saying in some instances.
You think some things were lost in translation?
I think it was. It really was.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah.
But to this day, like, I have problems with certain words. Sometimes I listen to songs and I mishear, like I hear completely different things. And then I look up the lyrics and it's totally something different. As an example, remember back in the day, like I think it was like 2010-ish, oh maybe 2012-ish, when Sia hit it big, and no, not Sia, it was somebody else. But anyway, there was a song, I Want You to Take Over Control. I want you to take over control, take over control.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Okay, all right. But what I heard, I want you to take a birth control. And I was like, what is this song about? I'm confused. I was like, what? It's like a social, you know, a social problem song, or like, you know, what is this about? Like, what the hell? Who wrote this? I listened to it so many times because it was on the radio all the time, and I kept hearing, I want you to take a birth control.
Oh my god. You know, so the best, not
rather sad.
Child, no, wait a second, what's the word?
Birth
control song, no, but there's a word for it.
Contraception.
Yeah, exactly, that's
contraception.
What it is. That was a contraceptual song.
Yeah, this is good.
They're good? Let's do one.
It's crunchy. Sour cream is making it a little more sour.
Let me see one.
But it's good.
But it has to be sour cream, right?
I mean, you can eat it without sour cream, but
I think it's better.
Sour cream makes it. It does make it better. I agree to that one.
Oh, doing it knife or like
I actually like I worked my way through it like this, but it's okay.
People eat with their hands, like on camera, and I cannot do that. Like I cannot eat sandwich obviously, but like other kind of food, like chips. Yeah, you cannot eat that with fork. But
I mean, I would. I don't care. It's food. I would eat it with my hands.
Proper. Then napkins. Can you please pass me napkins? A napkin. We have a situation with my ex. My husband's my ex. He was my husband now. He's not. But I don't think I ever tried kimchi.
No.
It's like completely new flavor to me.
It's fermented Napa cabbage. But I think it also has some seafood in it. Are you allergic to seafood?
Shrimp?
I don't know. I just now felt it. Are you allergic to shrimp?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
It's not so strong, but
let's read it. Let's
like I didn't eat too much, so okay. Alright, we'll see. If my stomach will stop working, we'll know that
where's your EpiPen?
I don't have EpiPen.
Why don't you have an EpiPen?
Oh, my reaction is not strong. It's like basically stomach stops and
Okay, but it's not like your throat closes.
No, I didn't have that experience,
okay,
but yeah,
right.
just the other reaction. Oh.
I mean,
okay, we'll see.
It's a food intolerance then. It's not really an allergy.
The last time I tried it probably was like 20 years ago, so we'll see. Maybe my body changed. Oh my. Okay, let's see. I hope not.
Okay, if your throat closes, what am I gonna do? Like
you're in yours. Okay, you're in yours.
You're supposed to have an EpiPen. If you really have a true allergic reaction, you're supposed to have an EpiPen, child. So I don't know.
I didn't have that one. Thank God. I hope not.
Thank God.
But anyway,
so what happened to your ex?
So we were talking, and he's like, so Russian men don't have education, and he's talking to me in Russian. His education is образование. I'm like, what? What are you talking about? He was like, yeah. I talked to a lot of Russian men. The Tajik man, he also worked in Tajikistan. They don't have an education. That is so weird. And I started arguing with him like, my this friend has an education, my this friend has 2 educations, like he went to 2 colleges. They have masters, they have bachelors, they have everything. Bachelorette. Bachelors. Everything. And he's like, I don't know. They just don't have it. Like I literally talked to them about it. And like, it wasn't like, it's just a subject we guys discuss sometimes. Like, did you have it? Did you have education or did you have education? Well, it turns out.
Was he talking about circumcision?
Yes.
Circumcision.
Образование, обрезание. It's very similar words, but they mean fundamentally different things.
Very different things.
And we like argued, like I'm arguing, like how dare he to say that the men here in this country don't have education, and that's like
that's hilarious.
Yeah, so now you know.
Yeah.
What the difference between American men and Russian men and Tajik men
is that they don't have education.
/
circumcision.
So yeah.
Which is weird. Why wouldn't Tajik men have circumcision? Because I thought Muslim people get circumcised.
I don't know.
I might be wrong.
Remember Russians in Tajikistan.
Oh, maybe Russians in Tajikistan, which is
because he like maybe he talked probably to a lot of people in Tajikistan, but they're like like you, like or me. We're in Kazakhstan and Turkmenistan, but we're not exactly Turkmen and Kazakh.
That's true.
So yeah, but there's like tons of stories when you come and you don't learn language, you cannot explain yourself. And
for me, I had three very bad encounters with English as far as like on my own personal level. Number one, that was the encounter that I told you about, that I thought I spoke English, but I didn't. And I thought I understood it very well, but I didn't, apparently.
But it was American. You mean American English?
American English.
It's different.
So that was number one shock, right? When I was like, okay, like I don't know nothing, turns out. So I worked my way through, and I try to like improve on my accent. I try to do different things. And then by the time when I realized that, oh wow, I'm there at the level where I can understand what people are telling me, there comes the next shock, where I realized that even though I understand when people are talking to me face to face, I didn't understand when they were talking to me on the phone. Which I never knew it was so difficult. So
I still don't understand sometimes what people talk on the phone, because they have so many different accents, and you have to like...
These days, you see, these days, like we don't use phones as much, right? Back in the day when I first came here in 2004, it was a lot of like phone calls. People would call your actual home phone. People would actually have home phones, right?
Yeah.
And I would have to pick up the phone home for the host family where I lived that hosted me. And I would pick up the phone every time, absolutely dreading the conversation, because I could not understand anything. I was just like, yeah, okay, no one's home, bye. That was pretty much it. That was the extent of that. And then the third encounter, when I overcame this level, right? I was like, no, I'm great. Like, that's it. I can understand everything that people are telling me on the phone. I'm wonderful. Then I get this job. That was already like when I came back to the US to immigrate. I got this job as a quote unquote telemarketer, and I had to sell properties in Alabama, which I never even seen in my entire life. I've never been to Alabama. But I had to call people, right? Cold calls, just like out of nowhere. I had to call them and convince them to buy properties that were in Alabama that I don't even know where.
Oh my God.
So yeah. And so that Southern accent just killed my confidence. It absolutely trashed it. I was like, no, I'm great. I know English. I can speak English. I understand everything. And then I called the first client and I realized that I don't understand anything all over again. And I'm like, how is this even possible? How is this even possible? I've been speaking English for so long. I've been learning it since I was like 6 years old.
Yeah.
How come there's still levels to where I'm like, I don't understand what you're saying?
No, it's like, it's dreadful. It's freaking dreadful.
It's really bad.
No, I can imagine like you're really learning. And because America is like, has so many accents. It's a country of accents, and that's in our show as well, because we're gonna have a lot of guests, and probably a lot of them are going to have accent. But yeah, and every time when you speak to a person in real life, that's different. You kind of like can feel what he's talking about, right?
But it's a lot of body. I think it's nonverbal communication, right?
Yeah.
It says a lot.
But on the phone, oh my God! Every time I have to call,
you can't see their mouth moving, so therefore you're like, What did you say, huh? Repeat that again, please.
And it's like embarrassing. You get
so
asked to repeat them, and they're getting pissed off and angry at you, and they start being like rude. And thank God they don't tell you like yours, you know, call you names and tell you.
Sometimes they do. Okay. Sometimes they would, but. Apart from the culture shocks, apart from language being a cultural shock, what other culture shocks did you have?
Okay. Well,
or something that surprised you?
Should we actually eat or not?
Should we eat or not?
Like, is it okay for us to eat? People tell us, like, is it okay for us to, like, eat? Are you, like, fine with it? Because we are obviously fine with it. We're, like, good. we're eating fun. That's, like, our style. Is chewing...
I mean, we're not chewing loud.
No, we're very proper.
Loudly. Okay.
And we don't have mics here. If we would have mics here...
Yes, you would hear everything. You would hear me swallow.
Okay. Literally, my stomach moving.
Yes, and then that would be a mukbang show.
So we're like...
Which is a totally different style of things.
Yeah, we're kind of mukbang-ish.
Ish.
Yeah, we're not like total 100% full force.
Not like that.
No. The cultural shocks were like funny for me. Like they were really not shocks. Like I don't think I was shocked with anything. I was shocked with things, but I was surprised. Let's say, right? Mm-hmm. Little things. Like for example, one day, knock on the door. I open the door. And there's a guy. First of all, it's an African American guy, and we live in countries where there's a lot of African Americans, right? Mm-hmm. But when you kind of get used to it and accustomed. But then the guy wearing this UPS uniform, and I only seen that in movies. Like I never seen it in real life. I was so excited. I'm like, I felt like I'm in a movie. There's a guy, African American guy in UPS brown uniform bringing the package to me. I'm like, I'm in a movie, and I'm having a movie.
That's funny.
I was like, for me, it was like a completely everything felt like a movie for the first few months. Like you've seen so much of America from American movies. So when you got into these situations, you're like, you're just like everything seems familiar, but it's like, boom, it's happening to you. Like little things, like lizards, smell of air, like, these things are like, it's just because it's so exotic. And when you come for a short time to a country, it's a different experience when you start
living there.
Yes. It's totally different. Yeah, and it's like, people speak in different languages. So many times I said I don't speak English because I was so embarrassed to actually speak in English. So what other funny things, more funny moments you remember?
I don't know if I share that sentiment that you said, like I felt like I was in a movie. I don't remember. Maybe it's been a while. Maybe it did feel like that. But I wouldn't necessarily say that this was my experience. At least when I came here to move here, right? Mm-hmm. Which for me, my experience was a little bit different. Where I don't know, I wasn't really introduced to like an American society because community because when I came here with the help of my cousin, of my aunt, of my uncle, and so basically we were hanging out with them most of the time and their friends who were again Russian speaking, most of them, right? So essentially it wasn't like I was I dove into this American community culture, etc. Even the church we went to was like Russian speaking church, right? Which, okay, let's not talk that. But essentially, it was not exactly an immersion like you would expect. So it was a little bit of a different thing, and I don't know if culture shocks are something that like you don't expect and you're like, how come you do this and not this? Mm-hmm. But as you said, yes, like in the movies you see that, for example, American people, most of them don't take their shoes off in the house. Mm-hmm. We always have to take our shoes off in the house. We have to have our house slippers.
Absolutely.
It's like a instinct. It's a second nature. It's a reflex. Mm-hmm. When I come home and my home slippers are not there, I'm like, what's going on? Why do I feel naked walking around?
Yeah, actually wanted to remind you, like, please bring slippers. I know you're a slipper girl.
Like so it's something that you might feel uncomfortable with, but it's not something that was a huge culture shock for me. Which was the part that was interesting though, is that for some reason, American apartments, majority of them, don't have central lights. You know what I'm talking about? Like the lights that are on the ceiling.
Yeah.
That we're used to that. Like whenever right in our countries, like you turn on the light and there's a big central lamp.
Right.
Usually with like a chandelier or something, right?
Stove.
Right. Something very pretty, depending on how well off your family was, but there was something there to like light up the whole room. And especially the living room area. I'm not talking about like bedrooms, okay, kitchens, okay, but like specifically living rooms are very, very dark for my liking. And so that was quite interesting. I couldn't get used to it very, easily.
You know what was shock for me actually? I think that was actually shock because that's something that I did not experience in movies. Because in movies, when you watch Hollywood movies, everything is dressed up. Makeup.
Right.
Hairdos.
That's true.
Men like always, feet and
looking their best, stuff. Right.
And you come here and I'm like,
and everybody's wearing sweatpants.
Where are all these people?
Where are all the pretty people?
Where are all? I don't see these people. And I overdressed for years, like probably 5. It took me 5 years.
I still do. To this day, I still do. I'm 18 years in the United States. I still overdress.
I'm getting like if I know I'm going to the barbecue party, I'm not going to wear a dress anymore.
Right.
I'm going to have ponytail, jeans, shorts, whatever, tank top, because I would wear, the dress. Thank God, no heels, but sometimes heels. And you came to a barbecue and there's like stretched t-shirt with stains, like depending also on the person, but a lot. Pajama pants, whatever, Crocs, and you're like.
But the good part about it is that even if you do that, people will not say, you're weird. Why would you wear something like that? At least not to your face. At least not to your face. People will be nice about it and they will actually compliment you and say, oh, you look so nice. Oh, wow, look at that dress. It's beautiful. Like something along those lines. They will not like put you down immediately, like right then and there in front of right to your face.
Compliments, by the way.
Yes, compliments and small talk. Yes.
We don't do compliments, and so in former Soviet, and even now, I don't think it's happening. People would come to me in Kazakhstan and tell me I look pretty, my dress pretty. They would be like,
right. They size you up and
never. And here it's like, and you get used to it, right? Yes. It's nice, like you
and
see
even strangers, right? Strangers, just on the
strangers.
street, they're like, "Oh, I love your shoes. Where'd you get those?"
Especially from strangers. I think first compliments when I got from strangers, I would be like, "What does she want from me?"
Let me tell you a great story.
Or does he think I'm a prostitute or something?
That's funny. Yeah. We went to LA, my whole family, me, my sister, my parents, my daughter was like 1 or something. We went to LA to have our eyelids done. The Asian people know, we a lot of times we have the monolid, and I had monolid and I had like a crease on one eye and not on the other eye. Anyway.
No idea what you're talking about.
Okay, we actually need to like do a special episode on that.
We're gonna do
separately. Plastic surgery, right? And all the things that we do to make ourselves prettier. But so we went there to get eyelid surgery. We went to LA specifically because there's a lot of Asian people there, and and who better to do your surgery than another Asian person?
So they have to know how to exactly do your eye. Yeah.
Exactly, how to do it and how to do it the right way. So we went there, and his office, the plastic surgeon's office, was in Beverly Hills, and myself and my sister, we were walking there for a post-op appointment. You can imagine, eyes swollen, everything, like we look like crazy, and we're wearing shades, obviously, right? And we're walking there for a post-op appointment, and I see Jamie Lee Curtis. You know who that is? Remember? True Lies, right? The Activia lady.
Alien.
Yes.
No,
not Alien.
No. Wait a second.
No, that's a different one. Activia lady. She was the Activia spokesperson for like a really long time. Short hair. True Lies with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
No.
Shame on you. You have
not aliens. Not alien.
No, alien is
Alien?
a different lady. I can't remember her name.
No, Jamie Curtis. What are you talking about?
What is her
name?
You're
talking. I'm gonna Google her.
Google it. But anyway, Jamie Lee Curtis, and I see her, and she's walking down the street, like literally head to head, right? And I'm looking at her, and I'm just staring. I'm doing the worst thing anyone could possibly do, right? Probably yes, but I just literally, I was starstruck. I was like, oh my God, I've never seen I've never seen she doesn't do Alien.
Okay, keep talking.
You're funny. Sigourney Weaver. Sigourney Weaver is alien. Jamie Lee Curtis is different.
They just both have short haircut, and they're tall, so yeah.
Yeah, they are tall. But so basically, I'm just staring at her, and she's walking right. You know, she's crossing the street. We're crossing the street. She's looking at me, and she sees me staring. And instead of being like, "Why the hell are you staring at me?" Right? Or like, "Mind your own business," she was like, "I really love your shoes. They are so pretty. I could never wear something like." Can you imagine, like, a celebrity doing that on the street randomly, right? I'm like, "Oh, thank you." You know, and we're like, we keep.
Did you frame those shoes?
My sister, she like, "Do you know her?" I'm like, "How do you not?" She didn't recognize her. My sister's like, "Who's that? Why are you talking to this lady randomly on the street?" I'm like, "You didn't recognize her? That's a star. She's like such a huge movie star." Oh my god, I will never forget that. And if Jamie Lee Curtis ever sees this episode, you are the bestest person ever. You are so sweet and beautiful inside and out. We love you so much.
Me too. Freaky Friday is one of my favorite movies.
Freaky Friday, yes, Freaky Friday. But you know why? True Lies is like one of my absolute favorites.
I don't remember True Lies. I don't think I ever seen that.
I have seen True Lies probably 50,000 times because remember we had it on VHS. Remember VHS? Yes, that's how old I am. I remember VHS. So we had a VHS tape of that movie, and my grandmother, every single day she would ask me to put it on, and I would know every line in the movie.
Was it translated like this?
Yes, it was translated like that.
So
exactly
yeah,
like
this is beautiful sandwich. That's how the movie we watched movie with this kind of accent because it was like illegal or something.
It was illegal, yes. It was illegal to translate the movies and dub the movies, and people didn't want to get recognized. But in any case, this was one of my big shocks about, even celebrities do small talk, they do compliments, and they so nice. So such nice people.
No, for sure. And the smoke talk, I did learn smoke talks, and I actually I was in the store yesterday. It was a long line in Ross. A long line. And there was a woman behind me. She was a little elder. And I started talking to her like, "Oh, do you believe this long line?" And I'm thinking to myself in my head, I would never do this in Kazakhstan or Russia. Ever talk to people in line. In line in Kazakhstan or Russia, you just would think, I hope he's not gonna, sneak in front of me.
Right.
That's all you keep in your head. Because everyone is trying to break into in front of you and take your space. And it's just like, and still, after so many years, I still have it in my head, like, I talk to people, don't sneak in front of me. But I was just sort of like casually talking, I'm like, wow, it's so weird.
It is weird, yeah.
Yeah, and it changes another country, you go to another country, and it's, after a while, it changes your mentality. And
But your kids were born here, right?
Yeah.
My kid was born here too, so she's an American.
yeah. They're American.
I wonder how, because they see how we live, and they see, they eat the food that we make, right? They see the traditions, they see some superstition, they see some, small little cultural things that we do that are not necessarily, they're not American at all.
Yeah.
Not at all. How do you think that weaves into like their understanding of like the world and everything? How do you even bring them up to appreciate both sides of things?
My kids absolutely love it. I don't keep a lot of traditions. I don't cook a lot of Russian meals. I do some of the meals, but they absolutely love everything that is connected to their culture, their heritage. And if we do like Easter, they absolutely love everything. I'm not religious. I love it as a tradition, it's beautiful tradition with eggs, the Easter bread and everything. And we have maslenitsa, where we make crepes, or as Yana said, crepes, crabs, blinchiki, and they love it. Like they love to be like part of something different from other people. They think they're different. What about your daughter?
I don't know. My daughter she likes certain foods, and she likes what she likes, and she doesn't like what she doesn't like. Like she will not hesitate to tell you, this is not something that I want or eat or would eat. Funny enough, she loves kvass, which is a soda made from bread, basically. and she loves kvass. And every time we go to a Russian store or Eastern European store, she's like, "Mommy, buy me kvass. Mommy, buy me kvass." So there's certain little things that are specific to our culture, like how I was brought up, and she likes those certain things. Птичье молоко, bird's milk. Candy, right? This is a type of candy that is, I don't know what's inside. It's like puffy.
It's kind of marshmallow.
Sort of like marshmallow, but it's not really marshmallow. I don't even know how to explain. It's covered in chocolate. So basically anything covered in chocolate goes, right? So, but she loves that. And she knows the name for it because she knows how to ask for it, right? She's like, "I want птичье молоко and kvass."
Girls love tort, kievsky tort, which is like meringue cake, right? Meringue cake.
Doesn't it have waffles in it too?
No.
No?
No, it's like meringue mixed with like dry biscuit.
Waffles.
Waffles, no waffles.
Oh, okay. All right. Maybe I'm confusing it with something else. But it's interesting how they kind of get a little bit of here, a little bit of there, you know, and then they kind of do their own thing.
Yeah. I think they like having fun when we go to a Russian store and, you know, the smells of marinade, they hate it. They absolutely hate it. So they know it's like it's just interesting to see their perspective.
Right.
But they think they're like different because they go to this type of stores,
right,
and they experience it. So they love it because it's different. It makes them somehow different from like.
I don't know if it depends. Also, it depends on the personality, right? I don't think my daughter per se wants to be or likes to be any different. I think for her, it's just something that she is. She kind of accepts it, you know. She's like, okay, it's a part of me. I like this, so I'm gonna keep eating this, or, you know, having this. So, but I think it's interesting how even without trying, they still pick up certain things that are cultural.
Yeah.
Like the carrots. Right? They know that carrots are a part of every single meal. And like my cousin's American husband actually said, carrots. Why does everything have to have carrots in it? So carrots is not something that Americans use a lot in their cuisine, and we do. Like every single dish has stupid carrots.
No, that's true. And my kids don't like carrots. They really don't like carrots. And I don't use a lot of carrots. But my mom,
whenever your mom cooks, right?
No, we'll have to take like 10 pounds of carrots every time we go to the store. We buy 10 pounds of carrots, we buy 10 pounds of mayonnaise,
onion,
tomatoes,
and potatoes.
And onion. Yes. Oh my god, there's like at least, there's like,
anything.
You need to put a lot of onion in food.
Everything has onions in it.
And carrots. Soup, carrots and onions. You celebrate Christmas, right?
So, because I'm not very religious, so I celebrate Christmas as a holiday, but it's not really like, it's not a religious holiday for us. It's just a time to like get together and celebrate.
But your husband is Orthodox, right? He's
Orthodox, but he's not very religious either. So he doesn't go by the book as far as.
But you do the 25th, right?
We do it on the 25th because it's actually just more convenient. And also, when my daughter started going to school here, she actually made us adopt Thanksgiving, because before that time we never really celebrated Thanksgiving. She's like, no, we have to have turkey. Guess what? She doesn't eat turkey, okay? But we have to have it in the house. We have to have it in the house on Thanksgiving Day. I will not eat it, but mommy needs to make it, or mommy needs to buy it.
So you Mother Teresa, not Mother Teresa, wait a second. Who did you bake? Betty Crocker. So you're not Mother Teresa and not Betty Crocker. So you make turkey, are you saying?
I don't make turkey. I buy turkey. It's already made. I'm not doing that. I tried one time. It didn't really work out well.
I don't know what to tell you.
I tried
about that information. I don't know how to handle that. You don't make your turkey.
I don't make my own
for your daughter.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, I never made the turkey. No, I made chicken.
Okay.
I made those small ones. You know what's the name? No, the
Cornish hens.
Yes. I cook those. The whole thing.
I cook those too. But I told her I can make you chicken, and she goes, no, it has to be turkey, right? So it has to be turkey. Mommy got her turkey, and she didn't even eat it. And
where did you get the whole
Indian store? Indian store. There's this Indian store. Miami Beach.
They make chorizo.
Yes. Turkey Day, you go there, Thanksgiving Day, they have the best turkeys ever.
From India?
No, Indians from India, yeah. Not the Native Americans.
Because we used to call, in Russia, we call them.
Right. No, Indians from India. It's this mom and pop store that's like right there on Miami Beach and like Collins and 71st. And they make the best turkey ever. It's very juicy. They put like plenty of gravy. They do sides, everything.
Does it have curry?
No.
No curry?
No. The only thing that I would do is like I have to go there early Thanksgiving morning so that I can pick whichever size of the turkey that I want. Otherwise, then they have leftovers and then you're stuck with what you're stuck with. But definitely, it's one of our traditions now. We always go there, only there. We love the place. And we only go there actually once a year for turkey.
But you're regular set anyway.
Yeah, I guess
you're
we
regulars.
are. I guess we are.
But do you cook like sweet potatoes, like?
Yeah, sweet potatoes, rice, and then obviously you can't have any holiday without oливье.
Yeah, oливье. No, for sure.
The Russian potato salad.
Thanksgiving.
For anything.
You don't cook oливье for
Girl, for anything. Anything that's a holiday, you have to have oливье. A tazik. A big thing of it. Yes.
I know.
Yes.
Thanksgiving is sweet potatoes. I never cooked sweet potatoes for Thanksgiving.
So I don't know what you're talking about then.
But I have a right to say, to state my opinion. And I think it's embarrassing that we have oливье on turkey, have oливьye and no red potatoes.
I don't cook turkey. I'm good at certain things, but I'm not good at that. Thank you.
No, there's a lot of like holidays were adopted and the dropped holidays were not celebrated. I don't know, May 1st, for example.
I never really celebrated May 1st.
I went to parades even when I was a child.
Well, you were a child, yes, but like
probably when you were a child, they didn't have the parades.
Because when I was 3, Soviet Union broke down, so I didn't really see much of that. But I would still like read books about pioneers, like the the Soviet pioneers, not the not the American,
not the same.
Right? So the Soviet pioneers it was an organization for children, school-age children, where they would get together and like help elderly and do like good stuff.
It's
and
a baby communist.
Community service,
baby communist.
Right? Like that.
Small communist.
So I would read those books because those books were left over from the past, right? And I'd be like, Mommy, when will I become a pioneer? And she looks at me and she goes, never. And I'm like, why? It was really difficult for me to understand, why am I never going to become a pioneer? Because it sounded like a really great idea. They help people, like they went to like help the old ladies with their groceries. And
I was a pioneer, yeah. I was a pioneer. I had this little,
I thought it was a good thing. I thought it was a good idea.
I thought you were so proud when you were like that accepted pioneers and you're like, you march around the school. I was thinking about something. I keep eating.
It's good. You have an appetite, and you still didn't drop dead after eating that kimchi pancake that supposedly has shrimp.
Maybe it doesn't have shrimp.
Maybe it doesn't have shrimp.
Oh, by the way, the pioneers, they are like American Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts.
Yes,
supposed to be.
Almost.
Yeah.
I see that. I see where they're similar.
Yeah. We're supposed to like do the stuff, but we never did. All we did, we had those pins. We had pins with Lenin on it. It was Lenin's head everywhere. And we marched around the school.
And that's it?
Пионер, всем ребятам, пример. Пум, 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 пум. We just walked around the school. We were good march walkers.
Marchers.
Right? Okay, we all were very good marchers. That's why they showed on TV, like the Russian soldiers march and other soldiers and other armies march. And in China, if you do it from your childhood, of course you become
good at it. Right? Of course you're good at it.
But they also the education also was good, so it's not just marching.
I never got to do that. Really. Never got to do that.
I didn't think you lost much. We also learned how to shoot.
Wow.
We had a basement.
Yeah, basement?
In school. And we had all basement or whatever. It's some kind of dark, like we went downstairs. I don't know what it was, this basement. We went downstairs and it was like a closed room. That's what I remember very brightly. And we learned how to put together the gun.
Wow.
we had to do it fast.
That's crazy.
And because
so instead of teaching you how to cook, I've never learned, and I don't want to learn, honestly. It's guns is not my.
But imagine to have a lesson like this.
Yes.
In your like typical 6 lessons day, each lesson 45 minutes.
Right.
And 2 times a week. I think it was 2 times a week. One of 45 minutes lesson, you'll learn how to march, assemble the gun, shoot,
that's
put gas mask on.
Wow.
Yeah, we were
and I bet you no one asked your parents if it's okay for you to participate in something like that.
I think they were all up to, because we're like, then we need to learn how to save ourselves, and those are interesting.
That's crazy.
Interesting years.
I also remember, we never did anything like that. Another crazy thing that I just remembered from school, we didn't learn how to shoot guns, but we did have vaccinations, remember? Where they would take the whole class and they put you in a line, and everyone, one by one, we would get vaccinations, right? Now, no one signed consents. My parents never signed consents. My parents didn't even know where we're going to get vaccines.
No, we didn't have any information
No one asked my parents if I'm allergic to anything, because I could have just dropped dead right then and there, right? Because from anaphylactic shock. Nobody asked nothing of no information, nothing. And the nurse who came to give the vaccines didn't even have my medical records on her, right? So like they had nothing to go on. They're just like, everybody gets vaccines today. Like I have nothing against vaccines, but I do think that proper precautions need to be taken when giving vaccines to children, especially knowing that, yes, are you allergic to something? Did you already have this vaccine? Or, maybe you have a contraindication for whatever other reason. Nobody asked that. But
you didn't go to the doctor to get a vaccine.
Knock on wood,
to the doctor at all.
No, we did go to the doctor. But knock on wood, though, nobody died.
It was tuberculosis, right?
Yeah, you gotta get a tuberculosis vaccine.
OSPA?
Yes.
That's you got a
varicella vaccine. Varicella.
Do you have a mark?
Yes, I have a mark. Do you have 2 marks?
Yeah.
I have 1 mark.
What arm?
I don't know. Do I have it right here? Do you see it? No?
I need glasses, man.
You need glasses? Maybe it's right here. It's right here.
So your left arm?
Yeah, left arm.
Over here. I have 2. Yeah, well,
my dad has 2.
European were marked.
My dad has 2. My mom has 2, and I have only 1. I don't know why.
They skipped on 1.
I'm not sure.
You're just half vaccinated.
I'm half vaccinated, but whatever.
And also, my fear, like literally my fear was each year before I go to school, I had a dentist office.
In the school? Oh wow, we never did that.
You never did?
No.
And it was mandatory.
I mean, that's nice though that school would do something like that. Imagine if parents didn't have time to take you or didn't have money to take you.
It was good, but I didn't know it was good. I just know that I went there and they gave me pain. That's all I know, because they found cavity and they needed to fix it, and it was.
Can you imagine how traumatic that must have been? Like you don't have your parents there to like speak up for you or to protect you.
And you're little.
Yes, and you're little.
And and it was for me like the school year starts, and I know that in first few weeks we will go to the dentist, and I was like, what can I think of to not go to school?
Wow.
Like, because I was so freaking scared.
You were afraid.
Yes. And I somehow went there once, and I somehow escaped all other times.
That's hilarious.
And it was, I remember the smell, everything, and it was when they tried to put cavity on my, not cavity, but
to fix the cavity.
And it was like they didn't give you any
numbing or anesthesia, right?
Anesthesia, nothing. And it's oh my god. Trauma for the rest of your life.
That's sad. It's funny. Now that we're talking about school, I remember this. Another thing that really did shock me is when I came as an exchange student for 1 year, and I went to an American high school. It was shocking to me that during breaks, like in between periods, right, kids would be out in the hallways making out.
See, I didn't go to American school, so I don't know.
So you see, for me, like, because you were raised in Kazakhstan, right?
Right.
So I was born in Turkmenistan. So Kazakhstan and Turkmenistan are both semi-Muslim countries.
Yeah.
Right? And, well, right now they're Muslim countries. Well, anyway. But a lot of the people are Muslim. And Muslim culture is even more restrictive than the other Eastern European cultures. But in any case, it's very unusual to see anyone making out white in like broad daylight anywhere. Even if you're an adult, you don't make out. Even if it's your husband, you don't make out in public. No. You know, it's not something that's acceptable. It's absolutely frowned upon, and you don't do that. But so when I was in my exchange year, I remember walking through the hallway trying to get to my locker, and there's couples everywhere making out throughout the school. I literally had to like, I literally had to walk like this so that I don't look at anybody making out. And I was like, oh my god, how am I gonna get there? Because I can't see where I'm going.
Yeah.
Not only that, that was one shock. Another shock was that all of the high school teachers absolutely had the tea on all of the couples. They knew who's dating who cheated on who's gonna date who in the nearest future, who's gonna take who to the prom or whatever. They knew everything. They were like right in the middle of the gossip. And I was like, you're, as a teacher, like, how do you, okay, number one, how do you know that?
Yeah.
But number two, they were talking to each other about it. And it was like, okay, like teachers were talking to the kids about it. Teachers would talk to the other teachers about it. I was like, how is that normal?
That's very different. By the way, did you try chips with sour cream? I just did. It's so good. It's like chips with sour cream.
You know, there's sour cream.
Yeah.
Flavored chips, right?
Those are truffle flavored, and you eat it with sour cream.
Okay.
And it's good.
I think your
I just discovered it.
I think your carotid is crying right now.
What cream?
Your carotid artery is crying right now because that's like cholesterol with cholesterol on top of cholesterol. She's like, it's still good. Nom, 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 nom.
I have my taste. My cholesterol is good. It's good. It's good. Dude, well, I don't know about cholesterol, about this woman and people on TikTok with red meat 24/7 and nothing else.
Man,
I don't know about their cholesterol. Chips,
I mean, they probably work out though. They probably work out. Do you work out?
I do, but I don't think they. I don't think.
You don't think they work out? I think they work out. No.
No.
You might be right.
And I don't know how it helps with the cholesterol working out.
Oh yes, it does. It does, definitely. When you work out, your muscles eat up a lot of the stuff. They eat up the extra sugar, they eat up the extra fat, everything that's extra, and that the body can convert fast into energy. Yeah. The muscles will eat it up. Yum, 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 like that.
My mom, I was talking about sugar, my mom's coming in like over 2 weeks. And she loves her sugar, and I do love her sugar, but I don't eat any sugar now. And she's like constantly asking, how are you going to like leave? Your brain is not gonna work without sugar.
It's funny how you say that, and my mom says the same exact thing. Every time she brings my daughter, like every time she comes over, she brings my daughter like a bar of candy or like, the Snickers bar or something like that. And I'm like, Ma, why are you doing this? She has plenty of sugar already, and you're bringing, or juice, right? I'm like, Mom, she doesn't need any of that, please, thank you. And my mom goes, she has a growing brain. She needs her glucose. I'm like, she gets glucose from other things.
From everything, basically everything.
From everything else, exactly. I'm like, she doesn't need extra glucose. You don't know. She really needs it for her brain.
This is literally glucose right here.
Yes.
And we talked about it yesterday. It's her. I'm like, I'm not eating, I don't eat sugar. She's like, oh, about chocolate. I'm like, okay, you're gonna eat it yourself. The girls don't eat sugar as much as well. And today we're talking about it. She's like, look at the chocolate bar I got. This Milk of You chocolates. They're good. They're good chocolate bars. I'm like, but you understand that I'm not gonna eat it. You're gonna eat it. Well, you don't eat sugar. It's just so funny.
You're like, Mommy, we've had this conversation.
Yeah, we're gonna have this conversation every single day. Every single day. So that's talking about like, even generation is different, so it's for us and our kids.
Yes.
It's not only cultural difference, it's also generational difference.
That's
even
true.
We're trying to be cool moms.
Yeah.
We're not probably that cool.
Listen.
We're trying.
You try. That's the only thing you could do.
Well, the kids are cool. They're cool. They're much cooler than us. Why don't you eat chips?
I already ate chips, and I already ate
the cholesterol, please.
I already ate the cholesterol, thank you.
Well, let's call it its real names. Don't skip these nicknames. Eat your carbs.
Eat your carbs and cholesterol and
with
salt.
cholesterol and your fat.
And your fat, yes.
With 0.2 grams of protein or whatever. How much protein?
How much protein is there?
Oh yeah, sure. They're like I'm gonna see.
I mean, there is protein.
I'm completely blind. Not 1 gram.
1 gram of protein? per how much? Per spoon? Per tablespoon?
Oh my god, this probably gonna be like a teaspoon or something. About 15 servings per container, 2 tablespoons. 2 tablespoons.
2 tablespoons.
You have to do 2 tablespoons of sour cream to get 1 gram.
No, I think I already did. I already did with
so you got the full gram of protein.
Full 1 gram of protein. You know that you're supposed to eat supposedly 1 to 1.5 grams of protein per body weight?
Per body weight. I know. When I found out it, I'm like, I don't even eat quarter of it.
I know, right? I'm like, okay. So I'm trying protein shakes now.
But isn't it having on your kidneys? We're skipping subject to it just a little bit. Isn't it having on your kidneys extra like so much protein? Like 2 is a medical professional.
Yes, but if your kidneys are fine, your kidneys can handle it.
But how do they get bad? Are they getting bad from that?
No, they don't get bad from that. They get bad from hypertension. They get bad from diabetes. Whoa.
Thunderstorm.
Okay, how am I gonna get home? How am I gonna get home? That's another question. Okay, well, obviously, thank you.
Oh, by the way, go to the Trader Joe's.
I'm not going to Trader Joe's today. I'm so wiped out. I don't want to go to Trader Joe's. And it's raining. I'm not going to do that.
Excuses.
Yes.
Don't tell me later that you've never been to Trader Joe's.
I'm going to tell you later.
You had so many chances. You're like my mom now. You can't. I never done this. Do this. I'm not going to do this. I never done that. We'll have to go together. We're going together. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you everything.
Let's go together, but when it's not raining.
Okay. Yeah, I don't like to walk under rain either. So it's like we started our Florida summer, I think.
Yeah, you think so? It's already there.
It's a second thunderstorm. This like last week.
That's true.
So
that's true.
Kind of.
But good for me. I don't have to water my plants.
Yeah,
they're going to be watered by themselves.
Oh my god, I love that. I love that. I need to put all my plants outside, by the way. And
auto watering.
By the way, one last thing about our culture that we had. I think it's culture, right? Before we go, flowers in the house.
Oh yes. Oh yeah.
Everywhere.
Pots everywhere. Just absolutely madness.
We have window ceilings.
Windowsills.
In America, they don't usually have window ceilings. Like we have huge, smaller.
It's not window ceiling. It's windowsills. Windowsill.
Yeah, windowsill. Windows, that's ceiling. Windowsills, you're right.
Yes.
See, this is the language. This is the language. Well, we understood each other, but if I say it to an American person, they would be like, window on a ceiling. Interesting. They had window on a ceiling in Russia, and there were flower pots.
We're like, how did they put flower pots up there?
They have to probably knock them. Okay, this is yeah. We'll have a lot of
but we had windowsills full of flowers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. Potted flowers was a thing.
Do you know the word for geranium?
Oh, what?
It's a smelly flower. It's a smelly flower.
It's not a smelly flower. I don't think it's a nice smelly flower.
It has an extinguished smell. It's like it's different. Distinguished.
I
can mix my words whatever I want. I have a right for it.
What is geranium? What do you call it? Geranium? No, geranium. Geranium flower.
Geranium flower?
I mean, I don't know. Crane's bill? Crane's bill? Is this it? Let's look. Is that it?
Yeah.
Yes?
No.
It's called Crane's bill. Or geranium.
Oh yeah, they're so different.
They are.
I think we had like those red kinds, like small ones. We don't have like purple or blue ones.
You had brown ones. But not only that, it was a measure of how good of a housewife you are. If you had a lot of flowers and they were healthy and pretty and voluptuous, right? You were a good housewife. They're like, oh, that's a nice household. They have a lot of flowers.
Okay, I don't know. I didn't know.
Yeah.
No, I didn't know.
It was like an unknown, unwritten competition among women that if you had really good flowers, if you had a green thumb, you were considered like this.
My mom has green thumb. I don't.
Martha Stewart / Susie Homemaker / ideal wife and whatever. Yeah.
No, literally, my mom will stick a a stick in the ground and it'll
bloom.
She has a green. I'm not. I put a flower there and it will like bloom in flower. It will die.
And it will die.
But she will. You know what she does? And she collects. You know, all little росточки. The what do you call росточки? Leaves with little. They will give roots if you put them in water. What do you call this?
Oh, like sprouts?
I don't know if they're called sprouts. They're called somehow. Like we're almost native. Nadia is almost native, but she's not native.
But I don't know.
99.9%. But there's like росточки. And she collects it from every 3 rounds, and she would take it, put it in the bag, and bring it home and try to
propagate it. Right? Yes. I know what you're talking about.
Росточки. We need to sometimes, so like there's a lot of words. Sometimes that vocabulary, English vocabulary is big, and sometimes there's like 25 words for like one word. And we like Nadia's English is much better than mine, and she still doesn't know.
I don't know off the top of my head.
We didn't know this
geranium flower.
Geranium flower because we never we know words that we use in everyday life.
Yes.
Like, for example, Nadia knows for work, she uses a lot of medical terms. But if we never talked about with anyone about this flower, we like don't know how to translate it. We don't know. Yeah.
Let's see. Sprouts.
How is it sprouts though? For flowers as well?
No, I don't think it's. But it's not росточки either. It's there's another name for it, like типа как what do you call the small little trees? They're not росточки. Saplings.
Or is that an English word, sapling?
That's an English word, sapling.
See, I never heard of this word. I never talked to anyone about it. Like
sapling in Russian.
I have no.
Саженец.
Oh my God!
It's a sapling.
How embarrassing it is! How embarrassing it! It's like when you go to another country and you start speaking different language, you forget your language.
Yes.
You're not perfect in your second language, and you forget your language.
Have you seen this little meme that says bilingual is BYE lingual? Because you forget all the languages.
Yeah, I know. And it's like we're not trying to be like fancy, like I do not remember my Russian anymore. No, we're not that. No. We just literally cannot, like, brain has to be like, fire up those words, and sometimes it just mix them up, and we remember
there's a lot of
English words or first Russian words. Sometimes we can't remember, but we're better for some reason. When we start speaking English, we use less Russian words than when we speak Russian, and we use more English words. Like, how does that work?
I don't know. That's a question for neuroscientists and probably like language neuroscientists.
I don't think it's psychological. I think it's something like literally neurons. Something does with neurons.
Correct. It has to do with how your brain fires and how like everything connects in your brain.
Yeah.
But you know what interesting thing is that I read somewhere that you always count, even if you're really, really good speaking another language, when you do like very difficult mathematical problems in your head, you count in your native language.
Yeah.
You will always do it in your native language because for some reason
the numbers stick in your language.
The numbers are better. Like you can count better in your native language.
Like I couldn't for a long time. I couldn't say like I needed to look at my phone number or phone number to like actually say the numbers. Now I can do it, and I also can do spelling now. I could not do spelling to save my life.
Oh my God!
I could not do spelling
because spelling is not something that we learn in school.
We say the same way we write. We're like
in Russian, but basically Russian language is like
we don't have silent letters. Right. We don't have any of that.
Right. Well, we do have some silent. We do have some silent letters, like солнце.
So yeah, but it's still.
Sort of a little bit, yes.
Yeah, it's still not.
It's not like daughter.
It's missing 3 letters.
Right, daughter, and there's like where's the GH?
Where's the rest? It's like literally DOTER. Like use normal letters, normal spelling. I actually always use an example as daughter for everyone who I say speaking English. This is so funny actually that you use daughter as well as a sample example.
Yes.
Yeah, but it's funny. But like as you see, we can speak basically any subject subject that we come upon because we're interested in everything. We're just curious people. Yes. And Nadia is basically scientist, and I'm just a fake scientist. I just love to learn and about different scientific subjects, and I can talk about it. Maybe not as a book smart, but I can do from a streets kind of smart perspective.
I think that's a good thing where you have life experience and you have something that is read or learned, right? And then you converge it together, and then this is like the best kind of knowledge that's like you can use it in your real life.
Yeah.
Instead of just like being some theoretical thing that you have in your head.
Yeah, but it's more theoretical though, so from the science, I mean, like it's a science point of view. But there's a lot of things that we only know like theories, because like if we talk about the pyramids, we don't have no real knowledge about it.
Okay, I'm a conspiracy theory nut about that.
Hey, girl!
Because people could not have made it themselves. Like, I swear.
No. And it's used. Eat your face, people, because the pyramids were not built by Egyptians. You eat your face because there were aliens, other civilizations. Right? We're gonna talk about it, and I love it.
We're gonna talk about it. Not in the next episode, maybe. The next episode we'll probably talk about food, right? Because I did promise you borscht.
You did promise me borscht, and I
have to. Now I have to. I literally have to like make sure that we do that, and then we can talk about all kinds of weird foods that we eat and other people don't eat.
Yeah, and I might come up with vinaigrette or herring under the fur.
Okay.
Exactly. By the way, it's food.
All right.
It's food. And yeah, that's probably will be one of our next episodes or next episode.
Sounds great. So if you heard something that you liked, if you heard something that you can relate to, please do like us, subscribe, and share it with your friends because maybe they'll like us too.
Absolutely. Just next time, get your food ready and chew and make this beautiful noises with us. Then it will be fun. It will be good for all of us. So
sounds great.
Thank you so much for being with us, guys. And
until next time.
See you. Bye bye. Girl, we did it.